a sitting president has arrived on U.S. soil under extraordinary circumstances. New York becomes the center of global attention as Venezuela's leader, Nicolás Maduro, lands in America. This is not diplomacy. This is power, pressure, and a message to the world. Good evening. You are watching News Focus, delivering verified, truthful news at the fastest speed. We begin with a stunning international development that is reshaping global politics overnight. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro has arrived in New York following what U.S. officials describe as a major American operation inside Venezuela. The move has triggered shockwaves across Latin America, Washington, and world capitals. According to U.S. sources, this was not a routine transfer. This was the result of a high-level operation involving American intelligence, military coordination, and federal law enforcement. The United States says the operation was launched after years of investigations, indictments, and mounting accusations against the Maduro government. What is the U.S. operation in Venezuela? The U.S. operation in Venezuela has been described as targeted, strategic, and legally driven, not a full-scale invasion. American officials claim the mission focused on enforcing long-standing criminal indictments, disrupting alleged drug trafficking networks, targeting individuals accused of corruption and money laundering. Washington has accused Maduro and senior Venezuelan officials of turning the country into what it calls a criminal state apparatus. The U.S. says it acted after years of failed diplomacy, sanctions, and international pressure. How did Maduro end up in New York? U.S. authorities say Maduro was transferred under heavy security and brought to New York because of federal court jurisdiction. New York is home to major federal courts, long-running U.S. indictments related to Venezuela, international financial crime investigations. Maduro is expelled to face legal proceedings connected to U.S. charges that have existed for years but were never enforced until now. Why this moment matters. This is rare and historic. It is almost unheard of for a sitting foreign president to arrive in the United States under circumstances tied to enforcement action rather than diplomacy. Supporters of the move say, no leader is above the law, drug trafficking and corruption threaten global security. Venezuela's people have suffered under authoritarian rule. Critics argue this sets a dangerous international precedent. It violates national sovereignty. It could destabilize an already fragile region. Reaction from Venezuela. Inside Venezuela, the situation is tense. Reports indicate emergency political meetings, military alerts, supporters calling this an abduction, opponents calling it long overdue accountability. The country remains deeply divided, with uncertainty about leadership and governance moving forward. Global reaction. World leaders are responding fast. Some nations have urged calm and restraint, calling for international mediation. Others have condemned the U.S. action as overreach. A few governments remain silent, watching carefully. The United Nations has called for respect for international law, while analysts warn this could reshape how powerful nations deal with accused leaders. What does the U.S. say now? The U.S. government insists this is not about regime change, but about law enforcement and accountability. Officials say the operation was limited, civilian harm was avoided, the goal was justice, not occupation. However, questions remain. Who governs Venezuela next? Will sanctions change? Could this trigger retaliation or regional instability? Power versus sovereignty? Justice versus geopolitics? Law versus diplomacy? For decades, Maduro stood defiant against U.S. pressure to. We'll keep tracking this story. Stay with News Focus for the latest updates.